Hi, my name is Marvin, and I am the Head of Customer Experience here at Reamaze, and welcome to this pre-recorded demo of the Reamaze platform. My goal today is to give you all a very good and in-depth view at all of the Reamaze features that we have to offer, and potentially, if you have any questions after the videos, go ahead and email or message our support team. We have a spectacular team here that's ready to answer your questions, and if you need further help with getting started, we'd be more than happy to help you. Before we get started though, I just want to mention a few words about the format of the videos. I'm going to try to do everything in one take, just because there's so much to get through. I do want this to be a little bit different than some of the other maybe demos or tutorial videos that you've seen from other companies. I do want to do a deeper dive on some of the features here, just to give you guys a better look at what Reamaze is capable of. I will try to stop the videos and maybe break them up into 4 to 5 different sections. You can watch everything in one sitting, but if you want to break up these sessions, you certainly can. You have the option to. So let's go ahead and get started. I don't want to take up any more of your time. So what is Reamaze? That's kind of the most common question that we get. And the other question we get is, how is Reamaze different from, say, like Zendesk or Freshdesk or live chat, right? And my answer to that is, Reamaze is a very niche customer service platform. We're designed almost exclusively for e-commerce businesses. And if you're on platforms like Shopify or BigCommerce or WooCommerce, you will get the most value out of Reamaze due to the excellent integrations that we have with these platform partners. We like to say Reamaze is a help desk and customer messaging platform, mainly because we see customer service for an e-commerce business being very different than, let's say, a software company or a service-based company. E-commerce businesses are undergoing kind of a revolution, right? There's all this talk about conversational commerce. And how important it is to get in front of customers, how important it is to build your brand based on the relationships that you can generate with your customers. So Reamaze is not just a simple help desk platform that allows you to answer questions. Sure, you can definitely do that, but if you kind of look through our feature set, you'll realize that Reamaze is much more than that. The customer messaging aspect of Reamaze allows you to automate a lot of your on-site engagement. It allows you to build that relationship with customers automatically and at a very high scale, right? We have a lot of automation and machine learning built into Reamaze to help you intelligently keep track of customer activities, to engage them at the right place and the right time, to upsell them, to cross-sell them, to boost conversions across the board. And we have to do all of this in a platform that's easy to use for e-commerce businesses. So I would say the major differences between Reamaze and Zendesk, it's very different. Zendesk is very generic. It's built for enterprise businesses, and Reamaze is not. It's a very niche platform. Okay. There are other platforms out there that are really good. I mean, if you're on Shopify, you might have heard of Gorgeous, right? So you might be wondering, what makes you guys different from Gorgeous? Well, Reamaze Chat is very, very powerful. It's built in-house, right? It has chatbots. You can build your own chatbots. In addition to using things like Shopify macros, there are trainable intents that you can use to intelligently parse customer messages and allow Reamaze to do the predictions and answer customer questions automatically. We'll cover all of that through the entire platform demo. But to get started, Reamaze offers 5 core features right now. In this first video, we'll just kind of cover the inbox, and then we'll move on to Reamaze Chat. So the shared inbox is the core kind of experience, the core Reamaze experience. That means, you can connect all of your email accounts. You can connect your Facebook page. You can connect your Facebook Messenger. You can connect Twitter. You can connect Instagram. If you use SMS or VoIP or WhatsApp, right, and you want to use live chat, all of these are communications channels that you can bring into the Reamaze shared inbox. This is a place for all of your agents to work collaboratively through, right? And there are tools built in to help them with their productivity, to help with transparency, to help with collaborating. I'm going to go ahead and move over to this demo account that we have. You can ignore a lot of the data that's in here. We use this, pretty often for demos and stuff. So you'll see some random things in here, but you'll get a good feel for what the shared inbox looks like and what it can do. So on the left-hand side here, excuse me, I'm a little stuffy today. On the left-hand side here, you have kind of the core features, right? You have your inbox. If you click on reporting, you'll get access to reports. You can click on articles to build your FAQ content. There's a live dashboard, which we'll cover. There's a repository for all of your contacts. And then there's a settings menu. And then you can click on the help icon to get instant support from our team here. Next to that are your main filters. So these are pre-built filters. And we don't do custom filters, unlike Zendesk. They take a long time to set up. And more often than not, they end up confusing your agents because not every agent is looking at the consistent filter. So Reamaze filters are kind of predefined. And this allows your entire team to work out of one interface, and everyone will have access to the same level of filters. There are roles and permissions built into Reamaze, so you can limit what certain agents can see, what they can and cannot edit. So that is a built-in feature, but by default, everyone kind of will see the same thing. So there are important filters up here, things that you're working on, things that require your attention after someone has responded. There's a filter for everything that requires your urgent attention, means these conversations are open and they're awaiting your reply. And you have, filters for all of your conversations across all channels, things that are on hold, right? And beneath that, you'll have brands. So let me go ahead and just collapse all of these. So Reamaze is multi-brand capable. That's another one of our core functionalities designed for e-commerce. A lot of e-commerce stores run multiple storefronts. They have multiple brands, right? And Reamaze will allow you to use a single account to manage customer support, customer service, automatic engagements for all of these stores, right? So if you're on Shopify or BigCommerce or WooCommerce, this is great. And you can even have different stores powered by different platforms on the same Reamaze account. So it gives you a lot of flexibility there. If you look at a specific brand, you'll see that there are a variety of channels that can be connected to that brand. So you can have access to just the B2B sales channel inbox, right? You can have access just to the Daffy Facebook page or the Twitter account or the Instagram account. If we scroll down a little bit more, you have other filters, like you can see what Marty is working on, you can see what Max is working on, you can see how many conversations Olivia is supposed to handle. And then there are departmental filters, so you can create departments in Reamaze and group your staff agents together. So you have a team for engineering, you have a team for sales, and you have a team for support. And departments can have assignments as well, so you can reassign a certain conversation just to one department or multiple departments. And then there are tags, which act just like folders or labels in Gmail or Outlook. And tags can be applied to conversations whenever you want. As soon as you apply a tag to a conversation, for example here, if I add the accounts tag, this conversation doesn't just disappear from the inbox. We still want to make sure you can see this conversation, but it will be added into the accounts folder or tag, so you can have easy access to it. Tags are also filterable through reporting as well. Okay, so if we open up a conversation here, I do want to take you through what this looks like. So let's say this is a conversation from my customer. Actually, that's not a good example. Let's take a look at another one. Maybe this one here. Okay, so here's a conversation from my customer. We can scroll back to the top because I've actually read this already, so it scrolled me down to the bottom. But if this, were your first time seeing it, you'll see the subject line. You can see the status of the conversation. You can see who it's assigned to, what channel it's in, what brand it's for. There's also a reference number. Some people call this a ticket number. You can call it whatever you want, but it is a reference ID to this specific conversation. And then there are a list of tags that are displayed here. Okay, you can edit the subject line internally. So if it's not descriptive enough, you can certainly change that and save it internally. You can even edit the customer's message if you want to add a little bit more context for all of your customer support agents. We have custom fields down here. So this is additional information that you want to require your customers to fill out before they can email you or message you. And then all the messages are threaded chronologically. One kind of a nifty thing that we do is if you hover over this viewed icon, you can actually see when your other teammates have viewed this specific customer message. And we do the same thing for messages that you reply to customers with. So you can actually hover over viewed, and you can actually see when Nancy or the customer has read this particular message. Okay, if you scroll down, everything will be threaded chronologically. And if you scroll to the very bottom, you'll have the option to reply to the customer. You can add additional recipients. You can add an internal note and address it to specific staff members. You can also forward this to a third party. Okay, replies in Reamaze also supports what you see is what you get HTML editing. So you can just type in bold, highlight this and just Control B or Command B, and this will become bold. So you can actually see exactly what you're typing. If you prefer Markdown, we support that as well. You can change that under personal customization settings right here in the settings menu. You can have your staff signature as well as channel signatures. So we support both types of signatures. The staff signature allows you to personalize signatures by yourself. And then the channel signature is mainly used for branding. Okay, so it can contain company information, maybe some special promotions that you're running. There are multiple response modes. So you can just reply, or you can reply and leave it as unresolved. You can reply and archive. You can reply and unassign yourself from this conversation. So there are some options here, so make sure to check that out when you actually use the reply option. We support file attachments up to 100 megabytes, so that should be plenty if you're just attaching some PDFs or maybe a PowerPoint presentation or some images. Very handy when you're replying to customers. Now, one of the first things I want to show you in terms of our e-commerce integration is the ability to insert products into your replies. So this works for Shopify and BigCommerce. So you can click on the Insert Shopify Products link, and you can actually grab available inventory, and you can insert it as well as include the prices and as well as the currency if your store is enabled for multi-currency. And you can insert product links directly into your replies. Another thing that we can do is, let's say, here's a response template, right? So we do have canned responses or response templates. You can click on this, select the group of templates that you're interested in using. So let's say order related, and then you can actually select the template that you want to use. So let's do order status check. We'll click insert, and Reamaze will automatically type out a bunch of information. Now, this data here, the order number, the status URL, the tracking number, the tracking URL, this is all being dynamically generated by Shopify dynamic variables. Some people call them macros, but you can set this up ahead of time so that whenever you use this template, Reamaze will automatically grab the latest information for this customer's particular order. Okay, so that's very handy as well. You can also insert FAQ articles, which is another core feature of ours, which we'll talk about in another video. But let's say you want to search for a shipping related article, and let's say this is the right one. You can click insert, and Reamaze will automatically insert these articles for you. Now, another way to insert response templates and articles is to use / and you can just start typing like shipping, right? Oops, typo. You can type in shipping and just click on an article or a response template, and you can insert it directly. We do have other keyboard shortcuts, so you can click on the desktop, type in question mark, and Reamaze will show you a bunch of keyboard shortcuts that can increase your productivity as you're using the platform day to day. Okay. Now, on the right-hand side, we have the customer profile. If you click on the customer's name, this will actually take you to this particular customer's profile. Underneath that, you'll see the goes by name. A lot of customers have nicknames, and maybe Abigail likes to go by Abby, William likes to go by Bill. So you can actually edit the go by name or the friendly name that you want for the customer. We also show you their primary email address, which we will use to retrieve order data from Shopify, BigCommerce, or WooCommerce, right? Geolocation and time zone, and their other identities. So you can actually use Reamaze and manage multiple email addresses or phone numbers for a particular customer. You can even add their Instagram profile and so on and so forth. When you do merge contact information, though, keep in mind that Reamaze will try to merge their conversations as well. So if Nancy has several emails, and then she has several text messages and several Instagram comments, as long as you let Reamaze know that, yes, this is the same customer, we'll try to merge those conversation histories into the same profile. Not necessarily like message within message, but we will try to group everything together under Nancy's profile. We'll also keep track of Nancy's historical conversations and current open conversations, so you can have easy access to that. And beneath that are customer attributes. So customer attributes can be thought of as customer notes, but they're a little bit more useful than customer notes. You can pass us all this data through our API, or you can have your staff, manually add them if you wanted to. They're just simple key value pairs. So you click add attribute, and you can type in something like country, and then like Germany or something like that, or USA, right? And you can click save, and this will be updated within the customer's profile. One of the major benefits of using customer attributes is in the contacts tab. Let's open this in a new tab. You can actually filter all of your contacts by those attributes. And this is really handy if you want to find a group or cohort of customers, and then you can just export them out into maybe MailChimp or Klaviyo, and you can build a list out of that data. Okay. Beneath that is the live view. We'll actually go more in depth into this when we talk about Reamaze chat. But live view actually works for all channels, right? As long as the customer is on your website, we know who they are. They can also be a guest user. But if they're on your website and we know that they're active, we'll show that the customer is currently online. And you have some other options that you can toggle, right? Maybe it's a good idea to try this out now. So I'm going to go to Reamaze chat. We'll come back to this when we talk about chat specifically. Let's say, hi, I have a question about international shipping. Okay, let's provide our name and our email. Again, this is optional. You can set it to require name and email at all times, but as long as the customer is logged into your Shopify storefront, it's perfectly okay. We know who they are through Shopify SSO or BigCommerce SSO. So let's go ahead and click send. At this point, we'll receive a response from a chatbot, which I'll tell you more about in the second part of this series. So I'm going to go ahead and talk to a human. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and open up that new conversation that just came in. Okay, so let's click on this one. So this is a brand new conversation that came in from Nancy. And now if we look at the live view here, so I'm going to scroll down a little bit, we can see that the customer is currently on the website. There's nothing in their shopping cart. Now this feature is only available for Shopify. It's not available for BigCommerce or WooCommerce yet. Due to API limitations. And then we also keep track of the customer's recent activity or browsing activity on your website. So if you're interested in seeing, what products this customer has been looking at in the past few days or weeks or hours or minutes, Reamaze will keep track of that for you. Okay. Another cool feature that you can access here is called Peek. If you click on Peek, Reamaze will give you a live feed to the customer's screen, so you can actually see exactly what the customer is seeing. Now, we don't show you other browser tabs. We don't show you their desktop content. We don't even show you anything that's in a modal, so anything that's in a secure form, like credit card numbers. You don't get to see any of that. You do get to see their mouse moving. You can see them scrolling. You can see them navigating to a new page, purely for contextual purposes. This allows your agents to offer better, more pinpoint accurate customer support experiences for customers that are having particular issues. If you use any other third-party apps, they will all appear on the right-hand side here, including the main Shopify integration or BigCommerce integration or WooCommerce integration. So for the Shopify integration specifically, you can see the customer's name, how long they've been a customer, total lifetime value, geolocation, time zone, phone number, customer notes, and customer tags. This is the same for BigCommerce. Okay, so just keep that in mind. It's roughly the same thing for WooCommerce as well. We try to expose as much data as we can from these platforms. So if you see something that's different or you really want us to build something, just let our team know. We'll check if it's possible. Okay. Now for Shopify, another cool thing that you can do is you can actually create draft orders. So if you're talking to a customer and they're interested in buying something, you can just click draft order. Add any discounts or shipping, line items from your inventory, and you can actually email the order to the customer so they can just pay for it. That's very handy. Okay. Scrolling down a little bit more, you can navigate back and forth between all of their orders. You can process refunds and cancellations. You can also edit the order notes and tags directly from Reamaze without having to go to Shopify. I did forget to mention that you can also edit the Shopify customers' data directly in Reamaze without having to go to Shopify. Any updates here will be pushed back to Shopify and updated there as well. Okay. You can edit the shipping address. You can see the line items. You can edit the order tags. You can see fulfillment information as well as a full order timeline. Okay. Let's see what else is here. You can pin this order to the conversation. So when, let's say next time another agent accesses this conversation, they'll be taken directly to order 1012, which is what potentially this conversation is about. Okay. If you use Amazon, if you use Klaviyo, if you use ShipStation, Smile, all of our integrations will show up on the right-hand side here. So you have instant access to all of your customers' data across multiple apps, so you don't have to jump back and forth. Okay, so that's kind of what the conversation layout looks like in Reamaze. They are contextual for a lot of the channels. That means if it's email, you'll have some slightly different functionality. If it's chat, it might look a little bit different. If it's Facebook, let's look at an Instagram one. It's pretty indicative what that looks like. So let's look at, let's say this Instagram post here. So it looks very different from the other one, obviously. So we have the Instagram post, right? You can actually see the video or the image. You can see how many likes there were, how many comments there were. You can even add a comment here yourself if you wanted to. And then you can actually pull in customer comments and reply to these comments as well. For Facebook, they look a little bit different. So let's go to the Facebook page. That's not a good example because it doesn't actually have a picture. If we look at something like this, for example, right now this is not assigned to anybody. If you click on this link up here, you can actually go directly to that Facebook post. You can see that it was on the wall post for this brand. There's also a reference ID. Okay, you can see the post itself and all the customer comments. Okay, the shared inbox works very efficiently to grab whatever content that we can. So if it's whether it's Facebook or Instagram or SMS or VoIP or email, everything can come into the shared inbox. It's very easy to manage, especially if you're planning on using roles or specific brands and specific channels. Okay. All right, there are some additional controls here as well. One of the things that I can't show you here, but I really want to, is when another agent jumps into a Reamaze conversation, for example, you can actually see the other agent looking at that particular conversation. If they start typing, you can see them typing. If another agent replies and then you reply right after as a mistake, like you didn't see that person replying, Reamaze does have collision detection available as well. So we'll try to hold your reply until you can confirm that you really do want to send it. Okay. If you check multiple conversations on the dashboard, you can reply to all three of these conversations at the same time. Okay. You can also reassign from here. You can apply tags from here. You can set reminders for yourself, and you can run automated workflows. Automated workflows are really cool. They basically allow you to combine three or one or more actions to a particular conversation. So you can have a workflow that, let's say, applies a tag, adds an internal note, and also assigns it to the support team with a single click of a button, right? It has three different actions. Workflows are very, very cool, and it will show you that part of Reamaze when we come to the automation stuff. The shared inbox also allows you to create new messages or log new messages. So if you create a new message, you can actually file it under a specific email inbox. You can type in the recipient name, the subject, and also the body content. And as soon as you click send, Reamaze will essentially create a new ticket or a new conversation and attribute it to the customer that you reached out to. Okay. Let's see what else. If we take a quick look at the settings menu, there are a lot to go through here, but I want to just touch on a few things. So you can manage all of your brands, and you can see, each brand again can be connected to a different store, but that doesn't have to be connected to a store. You can just have it as a completely different, maybe business function, right? You can just have a brand for that. You manage all of your staff members here. You can create your departments, and you can manage roles and permissions as well. So roles and permissions are handy, especially if you have a large team and you want to create some degrees of separation between what they can access and what they cannot access, what they can modify or what they can't modify. So roles and permissions are great for that. We'll skip website integrations and automation. And you can manage all of your email channels here. So for email, Reamaze supports email forwarding, custom SMTP, right? So you can control the deliverability. We have spam filtering, we have autoresponders, satisfaction surveys that you can turn on. You can change the display name as well, right? You can use condensed message, which we try to strip out kind of the content of the message rather than displaying the full HTML. We have an assistant feature that can automatically send reminders and help you kind of clean out your inbox, right? Other settings for social media channels. We have notification settings for your mobile device if you have the mobile app. You can control your desktop notifications as well as your email notifications from here. We'll save status page for another video. And then there are response templates that you can create. You can also create response templates that are shared by the entire team or even personal response templates. Okay. You can manage all of your tags here. So admins can come in here and pre-create all of the tags that you want your staff members to use and not have everyone go in and create their own tags. All the apps that you want to use and connect to Reamaze with, you can access here. And then some personal settings like signatures, customizations, changing a password, managing your security and devices. Okay, so that about covers it for the Reamaze shared inbox. If you have any questions about the inbox feature specifically, you can certainly click on the landing page that we have here. You can read more about it. But if you want just easy access to us answering questions, just feel free to click on this little help icon and send us a message through here. In the next video, we were going to go ahead and talk about Reamaze Chat, which is by far one of our most popular features, and you definitely don't want to miss that. Okay, I'll see you guys soon.